So the people at Dehancer reached out to me and asked me to review their plugin, Dehancer Pro, and see what I thought about it. So I told them I'd be interested, and here we are. So in this video, we're going to talk about what I think about Dehancer, who I think that it's for, and just watch to the end of the video because you may be surprised. So first of all, what is Dehancer? Dehancer is a film emulation plugin that is designed to make your footage look more like it was shot with film. So those of us who like those nice, bright, bloomed out highlights and those nice soft colors, that's what this plugin does. Now, I don't want you to get this plugin confused with being an overlay or a LUT, because it is not. And we'll get into the reasons why it's not here in a minute. So straight out the gate, while using this plugin, I can say it is absolutely amazing. It made my footage look exactly the way I wanted it. When I got through playing with some of the sliders and some of the things that you can choose and just kind of going through and tweaking it, I think the footage looked absolutely wonderful. This is something that I believe that creators, filmmakers, even colorists can use to really enhance their footage. It really made the process simple. It made it just easy to use and made me want to use it because it was so simple. Now again, this is not a LUT, so this is not just something you're just going to drag to your footage and then it's done. No, you're going to have to put it on your footage and you're going to have to go through and tweak some things. There's some settings on there where you can choose the type of camera you're using, and then just kind of go from there and really tweak this thing and get it exactly the way you want it. But don't think that you're going to be able to just drop it on your footage and then it's done. If you really want to dial in your look and get it exactly the way you want it, you are going to have to go through it, and it makes that process simple. You don't even have to really know what all that stuff means. Just go through and play with everything until the footage looks the way you want it to look. Now, in saying all that, there are some things with this plugin that are kind of questionable. The first thing is that it is a heavy load on your system. You are definitely going to need a pretty decent system to run this plugin. And maybe it's just because of what it does. I don't really know the technical aspects of it, but it's heavy. When you start adding halation and bloom and grain and all that, playback is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for your system to just keep up. And I thought it was just my computer because mine isn't the most updated computer out there. But when I started watching other creators who were using Dehancer, and they had, some of them had some really good systems and it was still struggling. Yeah, this is something that's going to be a heavy load on your system, which is why I'm not going through the actual footage and the process of using it now, because it is such a heavy load. The other issue with this plugin, and this is where it gets a little tricky for me, is the price. This thing is $450, okay? That's a lot of money. That's definitely a lot of money to spend for a plugin that only does one thing. Now, it does that one thing really well, but it's still only just one thing. And if you're somebody who's already paying, the $50 a month for the Adobe subscription, or you've already paid whatever Final Cut costs, or even if you're using DaVinci and you've already paid for the studio version, which is $300, another $450 is a bit steep to pay for a plugin. In my opinion, I think the price needs to come down to something a little bit more reasonable, something for people that, really want to make their footage look a certain way, but just can't shell out $450 to make it happen. Now, if you are a Premiere Pro user or a Final Cut user, it might be worth the investment. If you're a filmmaker or somebody who does a lot of content where you want that look, then it may be worth it to you. Now, if you're a DaVinci user, maybe not, because you can do these same type of things directly in DaVinci. DaVinci has a halation effect and a grain effect and all of that work pretty well. And if you take the time and learn DaVinci, you may be able to achieve the same look that Dehancer would give you. Now, in saying that, the Dehancer plugin, as I said before, does make that seamless though. It makes it a lot easier. It's not necessarily going to save you any more time, but in my opinion, I think it just makes that process simpler than trying to do it directly within DaVinci. Now, who is this for? I would say it's for people who do short films, narrative stuff, filmmakers alike. I think this is perfect. I think this is something that you will enjoy. Again, especially if you're editing on Premiere Pro or Final Cut, I think this is something that would really enhance your process and really give your films that nice aesthetic that everybody just loves to see. Now, if you're just a person, doing YouTube videos or just a general content creator, then I don't think this is for you. I don't think it's worth paying the $450 for the plugin if all you're doing is YouTube videos and creating content and things like that. To me, the cost, it just doesn't justify it. Now, of course, if it's something that you have the budget for and you just want it, by all means, I think you'll be happy. I believe you'll love it. But in general, I don't think you can justify paying $450 for this plugin just for that type of work. So again, Dehancer reached out to me. This video is not sponsored by them, so these thoughts are mine. They did though give me a discount code to pass on to you guys so you can get 10% off of that $450. Just use Daylight at checkout and you'll be able to take advantage of that discount. So again, the Dehancer plugin is great. It's something that I will be using myself because I do a lot of narrative work in short films, and I think it just makes that process of making my films look the way I want it to look a little bit more simplified, all in one space. But if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you share it and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.